So the most likely thing that they would do is to try to keep inflating the bubble. And that leads eventually to a hyperinflationary event. The worst of all possible worlds, of course, is to have the hyperinflationary event, the blowout of the currency, of Weimar style, and then following on immediately from that, the depression, the complete collapse of the economy. So we're looking at a situation now which I think is really unprecedented in modern times, that we could go through both of those steps, one right after the other, and then be left with an economy without a functioning monetary system. Well, I think it was Samuel Johnson who said, "Nothing concentrates a man's mind more than his impending hanging." And if you're looking at economic crisis, economic chaos perhaps, the prudent man says, well, I need to do something to deal with this. Well, the plan is basically an attempt to create an alternative competitive currency, so that you would have Federal Reserve currency continuing to circulate to the extent that it will, but on the other hand, people can use an alternative. Now, the difficulty is how you introduce that alternative. We can now do that at the state level through the electronic system. And the beauty of the electronic system is it's already been proven. This is not my idea or your idea or something that was just drafted yesterday. There are a number of these companies out there in the private sector who have worked on this and shown that it's perfectly feasible. So it's not very expensive. No one necessarily has to use it, so you're not going to derange the economy overnight by saying, oh, we're shifting immediately away from Federal Reserve notes. And the economy then can equilibrate and develop a gold and silver price mechanism at its own rate, depending on what the economy determines the imprudence of continuing to use Federal Reserve notes may be. The element of coercion in this will be the same element of coercion that the market applies to people. Here's the rotting cabbage and here's the good cabbage. Which one do you buy? Now this is on the hypothesis, of course, that Federal Reserve notes continue to depreciate in purchasing power. If by some miracle Mr. Bernanke or his successor solves the problems of the Federal Reserve and the banking system and what's going on in Wall Street, and that returns to a sound basis, then the alternative currency, I take it, would sort of sit there like an insurance policy, probably wouldn't be used by many people. But the beauty of an insurance policy is when you need it, right? And right now it's pretty obvious that we need it. And that's my selling point.